Alright, we are doing section 1.4, sketching intersections. Our objective is to understand parallel lines and planes and intersecting lines and planes. Our vocab for today is intersecting lines. Two or more lines that meet at a point or points. Any of you who have started driver's ed or already have your driver's license and are driving, think about intersecting lines like streets at an intersection. Same idea. Alright, our first postulate, which remember, a postulate is a statement that we accept without a proof. So we just accept that these things are true without much of an explanation of why. First one, if two lines intersect, then their intersection, sorry about that typo, their intersection is a point. I didn't make these PowerPoints, I just used them, but I do appreciate whoever made them. Alright, so we see that in this diagram. We have two lines, line T and line S. They intersect or cross each other. That happens at exactly one point. In this case, that is point P. Not too surprising. The second postulate is the one that is probably a little bit harder to wrap your mind around. If two planes intersect, their intersection is a line. So we have a diagram of that here. Those planes M and N intersect at line D. Right down the middle there. But one way to visualize this in real life would be to think about the ceiling and a wall. Okay, you can see at the ceiling where it meets a wall, there is a definite line. You could draw a line where the ceiling and the wall meet each other. Okay, so if that helps you visualize that intersection, use it. Alright, for examples 1 and 2, we are going to use this diagram on the left. For number 1, we are to name the intersection of lines FJ and KM. So it might help if you take a pencil and just lightly kind of trace over those lines. So FJ, we see it's here. KM is the one going diagonally starting in the bottom left. So those two lines that I traced over, where do those lines intersect? That would be at point G. So that is their intersection. Just point G. Okay, and then I erased my little drawings over the top of them, so that I can now focus on number 2. For number 2, we are looking at lines NP here and KM, which again is that diagonal one. So now we're looking at both diagonal looking lines. Where do those intersect? That would be at point L. Very good. So that's all we had to do on those examples, was name the point of intersection. Alright, for example 3, we have a diagram of 3 different planes. We are determining the intersection of any 2 of those planes. So first, we have planes S, which is the dark plane down the center, and plane R, this lighter one that's on top. So planes S and R appear to intersect at this line K. Line K. Alright, then we move on to part B. For part B, we are looking at planes R and T. To me, R and T kind of look like the floors of a building, right? R and T, those are the floors. The floors are not touching each other. They don't intersect. So for this, we would simply say that there is no intersection. They do not ever touch each other. We would refer to those as parallel planes. Alright, then lastly we have planes T and S. So T is like the bottom floor with that wall S. Those intersect at line L. Line L. Alright, on example 4, we once again have a diagram of intersecting lines. And we are asked to find the point of intersection for the lines given. So first, we are looking at lines PS and QR. So again, I'm going to take my marker here and just draw over those lines to highlight the ones I'm focusing on. That means I can just kind of forget about this one over here that I did not draw over. And I see that their point of intersection is point R. So then I erase those lines. For part B, I'm focusing on lines TV and QU, which means I can ignore that line PS over there. TV, QU intersect at point U. Wonderful. Again, I'll erase those little markings. Last one, we are looking at lines PS and UV. PS and UV, where do those intersect? Nowhere, they don't. So again, we would call that no intersection. There we have it. That is lesson 1.4.